Alright, well, if we can't play Schedule 1 yet, because my team of, you know, business aficionados...
Gaming has
are
changed.
not gaming. At least not yet. Let's watch this freaking video about Schedule 1. And how an indie game outsold a billion-dollar company, dude. What company they talking about? Billions and billions of dollars? Let's freaking see, dude. Apparently this game did really freaking well. Cause it's the GOAT. It's the best gardening simulator on the market in 2025. Let's hear what Alex Webb has to say about it. Shouts out.
Has changed. The games have gotten bigger, the graphics have been upscaled, the prices have been inflated, and the budgets are huge. Yet with every year that passes by, these big budget AAA games seem to be getting worse. The tech may be improving, but the games definitely aren't. Botched releases, horrendous writing, Fortnite battle passes everywhere, and patches the size of your mum. AAA games have been on a downward spiral for a while now, and it seems like for every good game, we get twice as much yearly slop. Simply, there is no games. And as a result of this decline in high quality AAA releases, a lot of people have turned to independent games. Games that don't have the millions of dollars and huge teams of overworked developers behind them, but rather games that are made by one person, usually in their bedroom, for the same price as a Tesco meal deal. Seriously though, these games have exploded in popularity over the last decade, with notable successes like Hotline Miami, Undertale, Disco Elysium, Lethal Company,
I'm coming after you.
and of course, most recently, Schedule 1, a game that came out on the 24th of March and within a week became the most played game on Steam, beating out both Assassin's Creed Shadows and Monster Hunter Wilds. So with all that being said, what is this game even about? Well, drugs of course.
Oh,
See,
yes.
have you ever watched a really obscure show called Breaking Bad? I wouldn't be surprised if you haven't heard about it, like I've only ever seen the Funny Fart Man mention it. Anyway, the show's about this chemistry teacher called Walter White, who unfortunately has a wife. And very bad lungs, so he starts using his chemistry degree to cook crystal meth. I may have skipped a few minor plot points, but the show went on for 5 seasons, earned huge critical acclaim, spawned a bunch of memes, and became everyone's favourite TV show. Although for me, it's a toss-up between this, or the hacking show where nobody's in the centre of the frame.
I don't understand.
I don't get it either.
I want to help me understand.
Is this The Office? What is this?
Well, obviously, morphine.
Is that Jim?
Basically, the whole reason
I have no idea what that is, dude. Maybe some shit my roommate would like or something?
I'm bringing up Breaking Bad
I'm pretty
is
sure
because
he has
while it's
mentioned
undeniably one of the best TV shows ever made, I never thought during my time watching it that I'd want to play a game about it.
Walter, you're never gonna see him again, Walter.
Walter. You look like shite, Walter.
Record that.
However, someone definitely did. Someone called Tyler, who over the past few years has been working on his very own game. One that would focus on the player building their very own criminal empire, starting out as a low-level drug dealer and working your way up to running your very own drug enterprise, complete with your own signature product. Side effects may include going bald and suddenly combusting. Schedule 1 was announced in the middle of last year to, well, pretty little fanfare.
I did this. Clean it up.
However, fast forward to its release, and the game is massive. 0 concurrent players? Lol, how about 116,000? The game
that's a lot of players. Way more than 0.
grew so rapidly that within its first week, it reached the top of Steam's most played list and amassed a player count of 414,000, which for context is bigger than the entire population of Iceland. Now I've tried to research and figure out how this game became so popular, but I couldn't really find anything too concrete.
Because Charlie Penguin Zero played it a bunch of times, and then a lot of other people played it, and that's funny weed game.
I mean, Schedule 1 didn't have a huge marketing campaign, it had a launch trailer, and that was basically it. So again...
I don't know how it got so big because it's literally called Schedule I, and everyone says the name wrong, so you would think that that would have affected the search results at some point, and maybe gimped their reach a bit, but it doesn't seem to have stopped them one bit. You can call it Schedule 1, Schedule I, it doesn't fucking matter, dude. They know what you're talking about.
How did it get so big? Streamers.
Yeah, are we butt naked running through the woods right now?
See, before...
I gotta check out Queso.
Schedule 1 came out in early access, Tyler gifted us with a free sample. Like, literally, there was a
Scrub
demo
Daddy
called Free
pills.
Sample. This demo was then played by popular streamers
What
like
if you took the Scrub Daddy MDMA from Jesus?
professional big boy Queso, showcasing the unique mechanics Schedule 1 offers.
Call the cops, I'm gonna tell them you out here smoking weed!
Combine that with the game being almost made for click farming, and within a few days, everyone was talking about Schedule 1. Like, the first time I heard or seen anything about this game was when I was doom scrolling TikTok around 3 AM. And honestly, I can't lie, I kind of thought it was just another meme game. I mean, come on now, this is basically a Walter White simulator. How is that not just prime streamer bait? Regardless of my reservations though, I kept on seeing more stuff about how fun the game was.
What?
So eventually I cracked.
Bro,
and
I
bought the
tried that actually. Austin freaking tricked me into smoking that shit that make you burst into flames and turn into a demon. That walk a little stanky-legged and lights you on fire. It happened, dude, I swear. Freaking, it was off camera though. Oh, miss. You're a good boy. Aww. I didn't even see him over there. He blended right in like a little shadow demon.
the game thinking it couldn't possibly be that good.
Oops.
I have now sunk nearly 40 hours into it. I've written down a plethora of drug recipes.
Oh,
and
you're
I'm
going to jail, buddy.
pretty sure my family thinks I'm missing.
Bro, freaking, this happened to me one time. Damn it, dude. Can you go back to the one time? Editing, he has no friends. Owned. You're getting so owned right now. How many frames of this are there, dude? You can't take much more, I imagine. Okay, so yeah, I wrote one of these little makeshift lists, as one does, but it was a band list of bands I was acquiring from myspace.com on the family computer, and one of those bands was called Kill Hannah, and I might have already told the story before, but it doesn't matter because that's the end of it. My dad saw it, and my sister's best friend also happened to be called Hannah, so he thought that I was like threatening her on paper, and that was no good, and I was scolded unjustly.
And I'm pretty sure my family thinks I'm missing. Yeah, it deserves that Steam score. But first, this video is sponsored by Delete Me.
Wow. Don't get deleted. Delete me. I imagine it's something like that. This video's not sponsored.
The premise is
But look at this cool hat from lonniedos.com, huh?
pretty simple. You're a small-town drug dealer who's recently escaped the police and finds himself in the lovely city of Highland Point with no money in your bank account and no employable skills. However, what you can do is cook. Unfortunately, you have an RV.
It's kook. Does he just say it like that because that's what their sodas is called?
Skills. However, what you can do is cook. Unfortunately, you have an RV filled with everything you need.
And it blow up.
Well, shit. The aim of the game, if you couldn't already tell, is to cook drugs and make money. Which you
Yes.
obviously can't do on the streets. So with the help of your Uncle Nelson, you start out in a small
Nelson.
hotel room. I mean, it isn't exactly the Ritz, but it has its charm.
Sounds like someone breaking in.
Then once you've gained some money, you can move into a slightly bigger place above a Chinese restaurant. Big up, Mrs. Ming. Eventually, you'll earn enough to expand into a small house, and then before you know it, you'll be running a full-scale drug operation out of a barn while laundering your money through various businesses.
Section 1. Tax evasion.
Honestly, the gameplay is super addictive. Like, Schedule 1 isn't just a game, it is a drug within itself. And I needed my fix. Days turned into nights as I couldn't stop playing this fucking thing. I was addicted to the hustle, unlocking better equipment, and with every drug sold, meant there was more money for me to lose on slot machines. For fuck's sake. At its core, Schedule 1 is kinda like a resource management game. You go out and buy stuff that helps make your whole operation run smoother and more efficiently, while also making sure you have enough product to satisfy your starving customers. Which is something
They're
you may want to
starving for
prioritize,
drugs!
because certain customers may become fairly addicted to your product, and if they can't get their fix, they'll try and shank you.
I was always wondering why they had a weapons store. I didn't know what I would need weapons for. What am I gonna fight the police? I haven't done anything wrong, officer, you know? So why would I need any of that? To fight the crackheads away in the good Queen's England, I get it.
Buckingham Palace has announced the death of Her Majesty.
Speaking of which, you have a huge amount of potential customers within Highland Point, and in order to get them to become permanent buyers, you need to offer them a little free sample, something that'll get them hooked and keep them coming back for more. However, everyone has different tastes. Like this crackhead will probably take anything he can get his hands on, whereas Philip here has a much finer palate and may enjoy something with a little bit more of a kick. Therefore, you'll need to start experimenting in the kitchen, whether that be upping the quality of your product or introducing new ingredients like, horse fluids. Now, when it comes to drugs, you have 3 kinds in this game.
I gotta boot the game up, guys. We gotta get
the
farther.
Breaking Bad one, and Coke. All of which you can mix with basic ingredients like mouthwash, donuts, or even batteries to create a brand new product.
Yummy!
Although it doesn't just stop there, because you can continue mixing drugs, making increasingly complex recipes, meaning you can make an almost infinite amount of drugs. All of which having very creative names like Ultra Piss, LA Ass Blaster, and Big Cock.
I've tried all those before.
Hey.
Now at this point, I feel like I need to say,
Just a little giant cock, that's all? You never smoked the big one?
drugs are bad. I know, brave statements only on the Alex Web channel, and to further illustrate this message, just look what happens to this poor man.
Poor fella. Poor Austin.
Stop it. Get some help.
That must be where my buddy Austin's at. He must have burned to death from his addictions.
Are a big part of Schedule 1, as each ingredient causes different effects. For example, mouthwash causes you to go bald, and a single donut will cause you to get fat. However, if you add more than one donut into the mix, the side effect may be a little bit more, fatal. I love how dumb these effects are, man. Surely play really well into the game mechanics, as each customer has a preferred kind of high, but honestly, I don't give a shit about any of that when I can turn someone into a fucking zombie.
I've fed him spaghetti.
Although, I'd strongly recommend against trying any of your own products. It didn't end well for me.
I try them all.
With all these new drugs at your disposal, it should be easy enough for you to get the entire city of Highland Point buying from you. However, be careful, because if you're out past your bedtime, the police will try to arrest you, or in some cases, tase the fuck out of you. Even when you're not investing time into the kitchen, there is still an insane amount of content in this game. Like as I mentioned, you can buy better equipment, better facilities, and even other businesses, like a tackle shop where the font is in Comic Sans. That isn't the only stuff you can buy though, because much like any good businessman, you can hire employees, like dealers, chemists, botanists, handlers, and even cleaners to help tidy your room. On top of all of that, there is also not so necessary stuff you can invest in, like a new car, some new clothes, or even a gold-plated toilet.
Let's go!
Something I obviously didn't buy. Don't worry though, if you run out of money buying dumb shit, there are other ways to get some extra cash. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna head to the casino. Yeah, I kind of figured that was going to happen.
Oh, dang it!
Can someone phone my mum? Realistically, Schedule 1 is a fairly simple game, but the way it's done makes it so fun.
You're under arrest.
Who, me?
Nimrod.
And it's super satisfying seeing your operation grow from working out of a shitty hotel room to a massive warehouse with multiple employees. Like, I haven't even gotten that far yet, but just look at the state of my fucking house. Fingers crossed the landlord doesn't show up. There is just so much stuff to do here, to the point where Tyler didn't even realize how much content was in his own game. And guess what? The madman is still adding more stuff, with plans to expand the map, add in even more drugs, introduce rival gangs, and even police raids. Schedule 1 was by all accounts an overnight success, and with the game selling for only $20, everyone started buying it, which presumably made Tyler a lot of money. I think what's also important to remember here is that this game technically isn't even finished yet. It's still in early access, but somehow has more content than most AAA games. Like, it very quickly outsold Ubisoft's most recent Assassin's Creed game, which is a franchise that's been on the go since 2007, with over 30 games in it, backed by a billion-dollar company, losing to one guy called Tyler. Although it's probably worth knowing that Assassin's Creed Shadows cost like triple the amount of Schedule 1 and had a very dumb controversy around it.
I don't even know if this is a fair comparison, because obviously Assassin's Creed is probably just like doing the bare minimum to get the story done and then shipping the product out, and you're gonna like it, right? If you're an Assassin enjoyer, if you're an Assassin's Creeder.
Which probably impacted the sales. So if we ignore Assassin's Creed, Schedule 1 still has more concurrent players than Baldur's Gate, Rust, and Marvel Rivals. Now, with all that sudden success and Tyler's newfound fame, it wouldn't be long before Schedule 1 had its very first controversy, as around 2 weeks after its launch, they were under investigation for copyright infringement.
And I did it.
This investigation was on behalf of the publisher Movie Games SA, who claimed that they were investigating Schedule 1 under the belief that the game had infringed on their drug dealer simulator IP. And, looking at these games side by side, it's a pretty clear-cut case to me.
You guys think they ripped off Drug Dealer Simulator? Have you ever heard of that game? Freaking not me.
Lock 'em up. Now at
Lock
the
'em
moment,
up.
Movie Games SA has clarified that there is no lawsuit, and that this is just part of necessary legal proceedings given the similar nature of both games. However, gamers didn't really read that part, and unfortunately both Drug Dealer Simulator 1 and 2 were review bombed into oblivion. Despite the whole
So it was just a necessary lawsuit. We're just suing you because we have to. Because you copied us and you pissed us off. Because you're way more successful. I don't see how that would quell the potential outrage.
Copyright issue, Schedule 1 is still going strong nearly a month later, still at the top of Steam's most played list and receiving constant updates. Honestly, it's just nice to see an indie game doing so well, especially given the direction the video game industry is going down. Like, games are becoming more expensive than ever, with you needing to take out a loan just to afford a Nintendo Switch 2, and GTA 6 allegedly being the first $100 game. Plus, there also seems to be a real focus on making these games look as real as possible with Ultra 4K ray tracing. And sure, that looks nice, but I think we've forgotten to make these games fun, lads.
Freaking true, dude. Shout out to Alex Webb, dude. Interesting take on the Schedule 1 thing. Although I don't know if they're actually competing with fucking Ubisoft, dude. I don't know if it... I feel like they both just exist in different lanes, you know?